that there's something so special about you and me, babe. So just say the words, cause you know what it means to me, babe.
Welcome to the Babes in Sports podcast. My name is Jamie Hersch.
I'm Tory Roy. We're two friends navigating being mothers, wives, and successful women in the demanding, male-dominated world of sports. If you guys are new here, welcome. We are 6 months into our podcasting journey, and we're learning a lot along the way. Not just about podcasting, which we are definitely learning a lot about, but we've gained a lot of valuable insight from our colleagues, our friends, AKA the fellow mamas who are in the sports industry that have come to talk to us and talk to you all. So if you're here with us, you can expect some unfiltered conversations about working moms in sports and in life. We're here for you. And holy sports. What an exciting week it's been. It's going to be. It has been. We keep saying that, we already went through the sports trifecta, but now
Right.
I'm like, nope, it's starting again, isn't it? And James, I'll start with you. Welcome to season 2 of the pod, by the way.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
welcome to season 2. This is so fun. I know it took a little holiday break to reset and spend some time with our families and, of course, keep working really hard. I know you've been super busy with all your NFL stuff. I can't believe the Super Bowl is 2 weeks away.
So excited.
And here we are. And suddenly, we're ramping up to the end of kind of the first half, quote unquote, even though it's more than halfway through the NHL and PWHL season. It's
Nuts.
kind of the halfway point because they're going to take a long break for the Olympics, which I am not working. And I'm actually so excited to just be off and sit in front of the TV
And
constantly
why?
watching the Olympics. I am an Olympics super fan. My kids they already know what the Olympics are, what sports we're specifically honing in on, what athletes we are following. This is going to be fun.
What sports are the Burkhards going to hone in on?
So I'm all in on figure skating. It's always been my favorite winter sport. Obviously, hockey, especially with the NHL returning to Olympic play for the first time since 2014. It's insane. Like,
What? What?
so many, yes, all of the best players in the world who play in the NHL have not played in the Olympics since 2014, aka like multiple lifetimes ago, right?
That's a
I mean,
bummer. Yeah.
I think there's only like 3 or 4 players, period, that played in the Olympics in 2014 that are still going to be playing in this year's Olympics. So
Okay. Much
there's
more to
so
say.
many storylines. It's obviously Canada, USA, but Sweden looks scary on paper. The Czech team looks really good. There's so many things to watch for, and I really can't wait. And then on top of that, I'm like getting emails about the start of the NWSL soccer season. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, wait, no. That's really? We're talking about that? So shout out to Trinity Rodman, who just signed a record-breaking deal last night to stay
Fact.
with the Washington
Love
Spirit. And
her.
yes, she is so good for the game. She's so good for the league.
She is.
Yeah, that's all happening. And then just to keep rambling and tell you all the things that are
Yeah.
going on,
Keep
I'm in Minnesota currently, where I kid you not, it is 20 below real temperature, almost 40 below feels like temperature because it's terribly windy out there. This is not normal. Like, this level of cold is not normal. And
Perfect.
yet,
You live in the desert. Perfect.
yeah, perfect for people who live in the desert. Also perfect for someone that's coming to host an outdoor hockey day, which is what I am here to do.
Yay.
12 hours of outdoor hockey coverage.
So
Uh,
fun.
yeah, I swear they pick the coldest weekend every single year to do this, and
Every year.
every year I say I'm not gonna do it again, and every year they pull me back in. But
It's
I am really
cool
excited.
for you to be there back home, right? I think
It
that's
is.
what it's such a big draw for them to have you and for you to do it because it's going back home, right?
Yes, and this is the 20th annual hockey day. Believe it or not, they've been doing this for 20 years, and I've been a
Oh.
part of most of them, and so it is really special to come back to where I grew up and stay. I'm at my aunt's house right now. The kids were supposed to come, but honestly, with a bunch of stuff, I mean, there's a really, kind of dangerous situation happening with all the ice stuff going on, and other than that, it's also dangerously cold right now, so they're not gonna be able to go sledding or anything, so they're home, which was a really big bummer, and I have more mom guilt than I usually have because this was supposed to be them coming with mom for her work trip, and I was so excited, and they were so excited. My husband was excited to get a weekend by himself at home, but none of that worked out, and so, we press on, and here I am, like, trying to just prepare for the dangerous cold anyway. I just real talk here. I like specifically did not shave my legs for like the last 2 weeks because I was like, I need all the hair I can get. I need all the warmth I can get.
That
This is what people can expect from this
doesn't work.
podcast.
Is that what Minnesotans do?
It's what I'm doing. I don't know if it works or not, but I feel like it's like an extra layer of protection for
Well,
my
let
skin.
let me know how that goes. Good. Wow, I can't imagine. I'm very wow. That's good, James. But look, I know that you're feeling it with the kids and stuff, but you guys always find a way to, find an exciting trip, whether it's together or just with mom on the road. And there's going to be the next thing that you can take them on that you won't have those extra stressors that are,
Right.
kind of facing you there. So, I
Yeah.
know it's hard and you planned around it, but it'll be worth it when you don't have to worry about, those distractions.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yeah. Thank
it'll be worth
you.
it. So, I know it's hard though, and I hear you. I can hear it in your voice.
I know. Well, thank you for saying that. And you're right. I mean, there are a lot better situations for them to come with me on a work trip for. So hopefully, I was talking to someone who I work with has older kids now and they're out of the house even, but she was saying that she used to bring them, on a lot of her hockey games that she would call Becky Keller. She's a former, I think she was a 4-time Olympian and,
Oh,
multi 3-time gold medalist for Team Canada. Yeah, she's a pretty
cat
decorated athlete, but she also does games in the booth now. And she and I were working together last weekend. And I was telling her how hard it was to be gone so much. And you're right. Like, I feel like my kids are never going to grow up, right? We all do when we're in this phase that they're always going to be little.
yeah.
But I know probably in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, like my son's almost 7.
Yeah.
And I feel like probably in the next 3 to 5 years, he'll get to the point where he could come with me and like literally sit in a chair in the
Huh.
back of the booth while I call a game and
Won't
think
have to
that
be
that's
such a production.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he won't, like, interrupt me while I'm working or like, I think that we're getting closer to that point where I could realistically take both of them eventually, or one at a time and have fun mom work trips. So that's kind of the goal and the dream, and I'll let you know when we get there.
Yeah, and you will. You will soon. It'll happen sooner than we think because our kids shit is happening, like, quick where they're, like, doing stuff on their own now. Like, it's nuts.
Mhm.
Like, I still,
Yeah.
like I can't get over the fact that they both kids go to the bathroom by themselves. I'm like, "Who fucking did it? Who did that?"
Wait,
"Oh,
wait, wait. Do you still wipe them? Oh my gosh, that's such a flex. I definitely still wipe both of them,
I get
including the
yelled at.
almost.
I get yelled at if I try, because they wanna do it themselves, so maybe I should because,
Wow.
I don't know, but, trust them too much, but yeah, they are getting more independent by the day, and it's great, but it also, you have that
Yeah.
kinda awe moment.
Yeah. I know Brooks goes biking around the neighborhood by himself now, which
Like, what
freaked me
what?
out a lot,
Right.
but
But he's a city
it
kid at
doesn't.
heart. He's a Hoboken kid at heart.
Yeah, yeah, and, like, he knows, go slowly around the curve,
Aw,
stay really close to the side of the road and all that, so
so grown
there's
up.
yeah, but no, it's fun. He wants to go to the park by himself. That's, like, still
Ooh,
a
okay,
little
yeah, that's tough.
too
Yeah,
far
no,
for
no, no.
me.
Yeah.
It's, like, half
Yeah,
a
I'm
block,
with you on
but
that. Yeah. Soon.
yeah,
We'll see. Yeah.
one day, one step at a time. Well, we are super excited to get into our next guest, which is the first guest of 2026, and what better timing than right before Championship Sunday. Well, this week we are so privileged to have someone who any NFL fan is used to seeing regularly on their morning TV screen. She has done it all from local sports in DC to working as a lead sideline reporter for CBS Sports coverage of college football and college basketball. She's done sidelines for the NFL on CBS, and then, of course, landed a massive job as one of the hosts of Good Morning Football on NFL Network. And most importantly, she is a proud mama of 2 sweet babies. She is Sherree Burruss.
Hello, hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we are so happy to have you here. I know we've been talking about it for a few months and the dream has become a reality. So happy to have you here. We got to start with just the craziness of your current job, right? Good Morning Football, 5 days a week, almost a year-round job, even into the off season of the NFL schedule. So talk about a demanding lifestyle, right? I mean, what time do you get up each morning and what does a typical day in the life of you look like in the regular season?
Yeah, it feels like mom part two, right? Getting up in the middle of the night with the baby. My alarm goes off at 3:15 every morning. I am out the door at 3:30 a.m. We are live on TV at 5 a.m. So thankfully we were lucky enough to come in, get, dressed, hair, makeup, and then we get to talk football, which, yes, it's early, but how lucky are we to get to talk about such an incredible game and such an incredible league every day? So we go in, we do the show, get a lot of breakfast. I'm am a professional breakfast eater also at this point. Come home, get to, have just the baby at home. Our daughter is still in school, thank goodness. I very much appreciate our teachers. We take a nap, the baby and I, in the afternoon. That's something I definitely look forward to. And then by time school is over, we're like in full dual kid mode, and I go to bed around 7, 8 o'clock. Actually was pregnant the first season for Good Morning Football when we moved to LA. So morning sickness, the tiredness of being pregnant with a toddler on top of waking up in the middle of the night was so hard. It's funny, my daughter actually would put me to bed. I'd go to bed first and she would like pull the sheet up on me and be like, "Good night, mommy," and sing me Twinkle Twinkle Little Star because I was so tired being pregnant and waking up in the middle of the night with her or with, being pregnant. So we all now go to bed at the same time instead of me going to bed first.
How do you feel that those hours, I guess you just kind of roll with it, right? With what your family life is, like it just becomes your family routine. But how have you adjusted yet? Or how long did that take to finally get like in that mode?
Not adjusted. I don't know if you ever are. I kind of treat it like a season of life. I don't know if I'm going to be waking up in the middle of the night forever. You don't know if your kid's going to be waking up in the middle of the night forever. I'm hoping not. We're in the middle of that right now. So it's just kind of trial and error and finding what works. I don't want to call it a mistake, but we were very late in introducing a bottle to our baby, and that caused a lot of stress of him not taking a bottle for a while, particularly when I went back to work. So, it's just kind of like little small hurdle things like that of giving it the energy, but not making it the end all be all, right? Like now he takes a bottle just fine. So I have to make sure I fed him before I left and made the milk and, all the little steps. So I think we just are kind of growing as the process has gone on. I think things could have probably be a little bit different and a little easier of the adjustment of having a second and a baby. If I say had to go to work at 9 a.m. instead of 3, I have a very wonderful husband who takes on that load, and it's dad and the kids from 3 a.m. essentially until about, 10-ish, let's say, when I get home. So I think also having a really good support system has made this easier, but we're just kind of swinging the bat and hoping we hit the ball.
That's incredible. I mean, serious props to you because
Thank you.
I think, yeah, it's a dream job. And I know you already said, how lucky are we to be able to talk football? And we feel that, Tori and I do, to be able to work in sports. Like it is a privilege, but let's not discount the demands of it, right? And not
Sports
to
don't
mention
stop.
the pressure, especially in your position, like you're on what, a 3-hour show. And so you like the mental exhaustion and just the mental prep that you have to do for every single day to be on a show like that. And by the way, it's kind of important, unfortunately, in this business that we look good, right? So like if
Mhm.
you're exhausted, like shout out to hair and makeup, right?
Yes.
Because I mean, seriously though, like I give you just so much props because I did that early morning schedule on the weekends, my first job in Madison, which I know you're a Badger. Shout out
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
Yes, I'm Wisconsin.
Yeah, but I didn't have kids and I was 22. Like that was and I thought that was hard. So I'm so impressed by you and your ability to do it all. I guess my question is, at what point in either your life or your journey with your career and everything did you realize like I still do want to be a mom even though I know it's going to come close to killing me while doing this
Yeah.
job?
Well, I appreciate you saying that. I think a lot of times as moms, we know we can do it all. We don't have to, and we shouldn't have to, but we kind of carry that burden sometimes. So I don't want to discredit how difficult it is, even though we can kind of, we power through, right? We do what we have to. I knew I always wanted to be a mom. I didn't know really how it was going to work. I don't know if you ladies had the similar conversations of like, well, I don't want this to affect my job trajectory, or I don't know if I have enough money, or is this the right time? Personally, like I really wanted to do Super Bowl last year, but I was way too pregnant to travel across the country. So there are these things that I think we learn that we have to maybe sacrifice, but we really try to make the conscious effort of making it a family event if we can, which I think has made it better. It adds its own sort of logistical hurdles we have to get over, but at least when we had just one, we haven't traveled as much yet with the second. but we would make it family trips that by the time my daughter was 2 or 3, she's been to 16 states. Like, we would just make it the family trip and I would have to balance mom and work on the road. So again, it's something I think I always knew I wanted to do. And then this way also, I'm hoping we're raising a little sports fan in both of them, that they see mom on TV or we always have sports on or we're going to events. So we're also trying to nurture that competitive nature and just the love of sports within them also.
Oh, we talk about that all the time. What cool memories, just traveling with you, seeing you. And I kind of, you guys are going to think I'm nuts. I kind of miss being pregnant sometimes because
I do too.
I did
Yeah.
have to go on those long flights, but I had my little buddy with me, right? And like,
Mhm.
if I
I
felt
don't. For
anxious,
anyone listening, I don't miss it. Just
that's what
to
I
be
meant,
honest.
James. But I would have like my little buddy with me in the plane, and it kind of like I miss that. It's weird. When they were, born, I have two. When they were born, I was like, oh, I don't want, I don't want that. It's like, no, they have to come out though. They have
Yeah.
to come out. Now
What I say is that you get to keep them to yourself. Like that's what I loved about being pregnant is you don't have to share the baby yet.
yeah.
Like they are yours in your belly. Same thing. I wanted to make sure I got to sideline college football pregnant both times because I got to do that with my first, that I wanted to make sure with the second that I still got to have those memories and those experiences. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, you're always going to have that, and that's so beautiful to look back at together. You
It's
guys, we were talking about the Madison swing. Were you doing news back then? And like, how did you transition initially into sports, and how did you
Yeah.
make it happen?
So, shout out Wisconsin. Graduated in 2012, and I knew I always wanted to do TV. I thought maybe sports, but there are so few sports jobs that I was like, you know what? I will just take whatever I can do to get my foot in the door. It took me about 9-10 months actually to, I think, get my first TV job. And it was in news. I told the sports director or the news director, I was like, I want sports. He said, I have a reporter position. I said, great, I'll take it.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I started in news, and just the way the chips fell and the openings worked out, there was a sports job and I was able to transition into that. Kind of feel like I've gone back and forth between like a little news, a little sports, but it makes you better, I like to think, and the more hats you can wear, the better off you'll be. I mean, news happens in sports happen in news. So to be able to transition of either a little bit more serious or a little bit more light and fun, and I think that just kind of helps complete the package.
Makes you
Yeah.
so much more well-rounded.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Yeah, I started in news as well. Same. I know the first time I met Sherree, actually. So she was good friends with my brother at Wisconsin,
Awesome.
and they're still
Yeah.
in touch. So hopefully he's listening to this podcast. No,
He is. He better
of
be.
course he is. Hi, John. Yeah. So I remember I think the first time we met, Sherree was in DC or at the Naval Academy for the staging
Yes.
series, and she was
Yeah.
there covering it for the local
Cool.
news/sports. And she's like, "Yeah, I knew your brother," and we had a brief chat about like kind of my journey and kind of where she wanted to go to. I think I tell that to young girls all the time when they ask like, "How can I do what you do?" Basically, I'm like, well, it's basically about just taking a job that will get you experience in front of the camera. And whether it's news or
Mhm.
sports, I mean, I was right there with you where I had to cover, like, I was lucky it was in Madison. It's a great city to cover news, but it was also like city council meetings or like murders or, like
Mhm.
terrible, terrible things that I had no interest in covering at all. And everyone was like fight over those hard news stories. And
For
I'd
the
be the one
murders?
like, I'll
Yeah.
do a feature on the school students who are doing a fundraiser for the homeless shelter. Like, that's what I want to do.
Yep, the good news. The good news. Yep. I try to remind myself every day that like there is hard-hitting stuff out there. We're not saving anyone's lives. Like a team lost, that is devastating, but in the grand scheme of it, it's just a game. We're going to be okay. And I vividly remember that, Jamie, meeting you and texting John and just wanting to pick your brain because I still do look so much up to you and just love what you've been able to do. And I appreciate you guys having me on too, that I think this is such an important conversation of, you need to make sure you're reaching back and helping someone else too. Like we can't gatekeep, particularly the more women we can get in. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, I love that. Love
Yeah,
that. Love that.
that's what we're trying, Sherree. So thank
Yeah.
you. No, what you said too is so important. Tell me if this is you too, because I feel like when people ask me, oh, so obviously you work in the NFL, like what's your favorite team? And I just don't have an answer anymore. It's so sad. It's really sad because I'm like, I'm watching as part of my job, right? Like we have to understand exactly what happened in the game. We have to follow storylines. We have to understand why decisions were made, why calls are disputed. Like that's part of it. And I just say, oh, I root for teams that I've interviewed or things like that. But I mean, I guess having Jordan Love helps you, right? But like,
Yeah. Usually, I guess I try not to lose my
Yeah.
fandom because that's what brought me in. And as a reporter, particularly on the sideline, I try to channel that of like, what would the fan want to know? Or how do I bring this fan with me? Because that's what I would want to know. Like, I'm that person that just watches the sideline reporter half the time if I like go to a game. But yeah, that is kind of a hard thing of like, I know what I need to do for my job, but I don't want to lose the love of the game, but I'm keeping it professional. And I'm sure you guys both can sort of speak to this. The more you also get to know the athletes, the more emotionally invested I feel like I personally get. I try to remind people athletes are people too.
1,000%.
So like, I covered the Caps winning the cup in 2018. Absolutely fell in love with like the players. Like you see them every single day for like 3 months. So you just get like attached to these guys and the stories. So I think I do root for the Packers. So my heart is hurt right now a little bit. But there's just so many other good guys and good stories that you follow along that you're like, yeah, I'm going to root for this guy, even if I don't maybe like the team.
Exactly. You just have like almost a good memory of like visiting that
Mhm.
facility. Like I've been with the Patriots now 3 times and it's been lovely every single time getting
Coach
to
Vrabel is amazing.
the best.
Amazing.
Right?
The
Yeah. So
best.
I'm like, I'm unfortunately a Pats fan this year, and I live in New Jersey. It's terrible. I don't know what to do. So yeah, exactly that. It's just you got to go with it, right? Whatever keeps the
Mhm.
passion alive. That's such a good way to look at it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't cover the NFL. I never really have, but I could say the same thing for hockey, right? Like I've always only rooted for Minnesota teams because I'm born and raised in Minnesota. And I liked what you said too about kind of being a little bit transparent and keeping that fandom because I think so many people in our profession feel like they can't be fans because they have to be super unbiased and super professional and super neutral. But again, this isn't news. This is sports. It is
Yep.
fun,
Yep.
and I think especially in today's day and age, like imperfection is, I think, sought after on TV.
Mhm.
Like people don't want super polished and perfect all the time. They want real. They want natural. And so that's being a fan. And so I mean, everyone who watched NHL Network for the time I was there definitely knew I was from Minnesota. Minnesota fan, and any chance that and it became like a running joke where like if Minnesota did anything well or badly, like people on the network would then be like, "Oh, shout out to Jamie Hersch.
Yeah.
Sorry about the loss." Or, and I think that's funny and fun and endearing. And I also think that other teams around the league, like they knew that, but they weren't upset about like it wasn't gonna
Yeah. They didn't take it personally.
yeah, it wasn't gonna keep
Yeah.
me from being fair and professional, and, the Wild never made it far enough in the playoffs for me to really have that problem where I was covering them.
Yet, not yet. Maybe don't sell yourself short,
Yeah,
James.
but then to your point too, it's like I started the longer I was working in the league, you go to these big events, these all-star games, these winter classics, the cup final, and you're interviewing some of these players on all the different teams, and you become a fan of the players that treat you right, are super respectful, super fun to interview, big personalities. You just have reasons like Brent Burns. I got to know his wife and his kids one year at All-Star, and so I'm
Huh?
always going to be a Brent Burns fan no matter where he plays. So you kind of root for the players above the teams, I guess I would say, in my experience.
And I feel like it's a great way to connect with fans too. Like even if you see someone out and about or on social media that like, you might get like a Go Pack Go or, a skull something in
Oh,
there, but like you could also sort of play on the rivalries. So I think that's kind of
yeah.
fun that there is that transparency. But you mentioned it too. Like I personally really struggle with being a perfectionist and worrying about being perfect. So like being able to sort of come out of the shell and accept that it's tough, but it's something I'm working on.
Yeah.
So shout
Real
out to
quick,
all the teams. Shout out to Mike Vrabel for
Right. Also,
great.
yeah.
I wanted to get your thoughts real quick just on the NFL playoffs because this is a sports podcast too. It's not just about mound stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've been wild, right? And I can't
Wild.
believe I'm saying this as a lifelong Vikings fan, but like, I'm actually sad to see the Bears eliminated, especially in such a heartbreaking fashion after that crazy pass from Caleb.
I
Anyway,
know.
what have you made of the playoffs so far, and what have some of your favorite storylines been?
There is such parity in the NFL this season, particularly the playoffs. I mean, there's no Patrick Mahomes, there's no Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. I mean, you think of the NFC side, it's just the fact that we're going to have someone that feels new win is going to be so much fun. Also, a weird connection that someone just brought to my attention is it's Sean versus Mike. You have Mike Vrabel against Sean Payton. You have Mike McDonald against Sean McVay. So it's Sean versus Mike in both games. So that note, awful news that the Broncos lost their quarterback in Bo Nix. Who would have thought he'd break his ankle on sort of like meaningless last play of the game? It'd be fun, I think, honestly, to have the Patriots kind of get back. And again, to that point, I'm rooting for Mike Vrabel, just really good dude, easy to work with. Here in LA, it'd be very fun to have the Rams take it all the way. Again, I could handle another parade. But Jamie, also, I mean, Sam Darnold, Seattle, how you feeling, girl?
Fight on.
Yeah.
I know, but that's also why I'm a Caleb Williams fan. So
yeah, okay.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, as a Vikings fan, Sam Darnold,
Vikings more than SC, but yeah.
Gosh, no, Sam Darnold looks fantastic. If only we had seen that Sam this time last year, it could have, should have, would have. But
man,
it's going to be Drake May or Jarrett Stidham in the Super Bowl.
Who would have thought? This is going to be a trivia question in like 7 years.
No, right? So I'm very curious on what's going to happen in the AFC side. So I have one more for you, Sherree, before we let you go, because then we have a fun rapid fire segment. We're going to get your mom thoughts and your football thoughts before you go. But quickly, we touched on this a minute ago, but Jamie and I talk a lot about kind of how we have worked our personal lives around our careers sometimes, right? Like I made sure to get married in August and I made sure to have my first child in the spring because of the football schedule, the NFL football schedule. And I think that now, and I think I'm nuts. I'm curious how you manage that. Do you still feel, the obligation to your job and your work and what you're passionate about? Or you know that what is right is, okay, I need to take a breather here for me and for my family.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
There's definitely that like mom guilt side of like, you should be working. Like, why aren't you home? Like there's that part of me, but then there's this shoulder too of like, they're not going to be little forever. There's going to be another day where I need to work. There's going to be another Super Bowl. There's going to be another combine. There's going to be another cup final. Like these events aren't going anywhere. So I'm trying to work on that process of accepting sort of where I'm at. I was listening to something, I forget what it was. I think it was Michelle Obama talking about it's possible to have everything, but not all at once. And we have different chapters. And I'm really trying to embody that for 2026 of like, I want to cover the Super Bowl. Like I want to go to combine. I want to do the draft, but I need to be home also. Like my babies actually physically need me at this stage. So there's going to come a time where I'm going to do that and I don't have to be home. And I'd like to have it all. But right now, the priority is going to have to sometimes be the family and the babies and work. I'm going to give 100% when I'm there. I try to give 100% when I'm home, but sometimes you can't just eat the entire cake in one sitting. Oh, I don't know if that answers your question specifically, but there's definitely suffer majorly from mom guilt of thinking I need to do and be everything. So I'm trying to work on, it's okay sometimes if I need to say no and set some of those boundaries just for the greater good of the family.
Yeah, look, I don't think there is an answer. We all experience it, right? And we could just help each other through it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I got chills hearing you say that and I'm also just so proud to hear you say that because it takes a lot of kind of like self reflection and everything to get to that point. I feel like there are so many, specifically women in our business who, kind of quiet that voice of family needs. And then they look back and they're like, well, shoot, I wish I had, you don't get that time back.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm guilty of it too. I've been traveling way too much these past few months and I feel that. And I'm like, what am I doing? So we're all doing our best. And I think you're right. The year of 2026, we can, learn how to prioritize what we want to prioritize, whether that's work or family, but kind of figure out within ourselves which one we want to go.
All right. It's a controversial question right now, but knowing where you are, I'm curious. NFL MVP.
Goodness gracious, that's a good one. NFL MVP. I'm gonna go Drake May, Patriots.
Can I have a why real quick?
I think just what he's been able to do. I feel like we could name more people and more playmakers on the Rams and head coach Sean. Like they have the pieces. I'm not saying you can just plug and chug someone, a different quarterback, Matt Stafford possibly, but what Drake has done, we probably couldn't name the entire receiving core or the running backs for the Pats. So the fact that he's done what he's done and as young as he is, my tip my cap to him.
Okay. Switching gears, your go-to mom hack.
find like-minded moms and mom friends. If there's that one mom you can be like a little crazy with, you can complain to, you can like text any hour of the day. It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a tribe to help a mom. So you got to make sure you have your gals with you and some other moms that you can be like, am I crazy? And she says, no, girl, I am doing the same things.
Right here. Got them right here.
Yep, exactly.
Mom item in your bag.
Item.
Gotta have it.
Like my work bag, or if I go like out and about?
Anything.
Snacks. We need snacks. I have like those little veggie fry things. We have extra cups of water. There's always an apple. Every once in a while, like I'll throw in chocolate for myself. But food is number one.
Gotta have it. Coaching carousel, shifting gears again. Open position or new head coach hire that is the most intriguing to you right now?
I'm going to say Baltimore Ravens. I might be a little biased that I covered John Harbaugh on that team for a year or two when I was in DC. I feel like they have so many pieces, and I guess I'd probably put Ravens and then Steelers like 1A, 1B, just because to replace those two coaches that are such pillars of an organization. We know in sports, there's very little consistency or loyalty. That someone was with a franchise 18, 19 years is insane. So that's going to be very big shoes to fill for whoever gets either one of those jobs, honestly.
I agree. Two more. Recent mom fail that you're not ashamed of.
Recent mom fail. Oh, so I don't know if this is a fail. So there's that trend of like putting that music to your kid having a tantrum. My daughter was crying on the floor the other day, just like losing it, like in a puddle, like a pile. And I just like snapped a picture and like sent it to some friends. Again, the girl group chat, the mom group chat. And I was like, anyone else's kid just like losing it today? Which started a kind of a thread of like everyone posting a picture of their kid having an absolute meltdown, which made me feel much better. So I don't know if tantrum shaming my child is a fail or not, but I'm going to put it in that folder.
Well, I don't think it's a fail, but it counts in a weird way. Yeah. And last question. What's the biggest challenge that working moms in sports are facing right now?
Biggest challenge. How much more time do you have?
That's not really rapid fire. My bad.
I think there's just this perception of needing to be it all and do it all and just be smiley and happy and make it look easy and great and okay. There's days where it's really hard, and sometimes work stinks and you can't bring it home, or it feels unfair to bring it home, or home has stunk and your kid woke up all night and you have to be happy and look okay and just kind of power on. And I'm not going to say it's not fair, because there's people dealing with very real issues in our world and our society. But, for some of us, like that is the very real issue of, needing to carry on and just pretend that it's okay. I think if we can kind of like lean in that, like, yeah, she might be going through something at home, or having a little bit more grace, and thinking that moms don't have to do it all because we can, that'd be great. Someone can take this, off my plate. I'm happy to share the snacks.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.
I love that. You were so fantastic. Thank you so much for your time,
guys.
Your insights, and we really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure there's someone listening out there that's going through it right now that really appreciates your stories and sharing of all of the challenges that we face.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you, Tory and Jamie.
Have a great nap.
Thanks.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for sticking with us for season 2, Babes in Sports. We have so much more coming down the line in the next couple weeks, so please subscribe, comment on our Instagram account, follow us, and we'll see you soon.